on Instagram
Comparison
or
is the thief of joy
100%.
because you will look at someone else's Instagram and convince yourself that you have a bad life.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you're
shit.
like, I don't have those things. Do those things really make that person happy? I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think so.
You ready?
Yeah.
Boom. The
Energy.
podcast has started.
Oh, okay.
Yes. This is the Asian Not Asian podcast, the podcast with all of your favorite Asian friends and some of your not so favorite Asian friends.
Yeah. Enemies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you have enemies?
Me? Yeah.
You do?
Well, I have people who I am their enemy, but they're not
What?
my enemy.
Who?
I'm not going to name names, but I've had like friend falling outs where they think that I am very mean and bad. But it's literally that at one point after getting pushed around for a while, I was like, stop. I don't want to get pushed around for a while anymore. And then they were like, okay, she's mean. She's rude. And I was like,
I like that.
I just don't want to get
I want to
pushed
see
around.
rude Jenny.
I'm not rude. I just go like, sometimes I feel uncomfortable and then they're like, get mad at me.
Just you crying is being
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah.
It's like, excuse me.
Yeah. And then I get cut out.
Maybe you don't want to cry in front of us.
Yeah.
That's so rude.
So that's kind of those I have some enemies
Okay
like
then.
that.
Well,
yeah.
this is the Asian Not Asian podcast with all your favorite Asian friends and some very rude Asian friends who decide to cry.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, I relate to that.
Okay, fair enough. We're recording again also from Canal Street Market. We just had another guest and we had an amazing lunch and now we're here and we're doing it again because we love you guys.
We
And
love to make content.
we fucking love content.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing.
It's all I do all day long.
Every day.
And before we get started, real quick, couple announcements. I think this will come out in time, but if you're listening and you're in New York City, we have our next ANA live show. It's called Real Asian Ships. It's the only Asian American dating show that has ever existed. I did no work to check if that's
Yeah,
true.
but it feels right.
It feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
We're at A24. We're not at Asian American dating yet.
Dating
So it's the only Asian American dating show. You can buy tickets at caveat.nyc or just Google our ANA live show. It's a lot of fun. It's a dating show, so there's real bachelors and bachelorettes, and the audience has a hand in picking who goes on a date.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there at the last one, but it seemed to be successful.
It's going to be, it's either going to be amazing or it's going to be a disaster.
But it worked out a little bit.
Last time
Things happened.
The last time, okay, let me tell you guys. Last time we had this dating show, and we had the girl and three guys, and the girl picked the guy who I think this is so dating.
Yeah.
She picked the guy that I think she thought she should be with.
Right. The one that looked good on paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And he's a good dude. If you're listening, you're a good dude.
You're great.
You're a good guy. I would have you over to my church group to move my couch. You're that kind of guy.
Yeah, we trust you.
But then later on, sparks be flying with the dude that she got eliminated first.
Yes.
He's a chef. As soon as you say chef, come on, how horny are you?
Well, wait, say that again. I was just heard chef and horny. And I was like,
As soon as you say chef, I feel that guy's hot.
Yeah.
And he was.
Yeah.
And
That's what I
so-
heard. He had a cool guy energy.
So that's what happened in the first one. We're hoping that happens in the second one. We'll see how it goes. It'll be fun. Again, that's June 1st, 7 p.m. at Caveat. Go to caveat.nyc. Go to the episode description. You get tickets. It's a good time. And of course, we always have our Hack City stand-up show. That's the second Friday of every month. Just Google Hack City Comedy. We have been doing the show forever. Please come. Jenny's there. I'm there. It's super fun. It's stand-up comedy. A lot of Asian people haven't been to stand-up comedy, but I promise you this is a good show.
Mm-hmm. Really fun.
Real quick, too, we're going to give a Patreon shout-out. Patreon is the best way to support the podcast. And if you subscribe to the Patreon, we give you a little fun backstory.
Yes.
We shout you out, and we give you a fun backstory based entirely on your name.
Mm-hmm.
We got one this week.
Yeah, I can see it already. I don't like
Sometimes it's really hard. Like
Yeah.
the last one wasn't too bad. This one is difficult because they give us
Yeah.
nothing. The person's name is Lisa.
I know. I see it.
I was going to cheat and look at the person's email address, but the email doesn't make sense.
Oh, really?
It's like...
It's like a string of like random words.
No, it's like a cutesy name.
I see.
So I was like, okay, this isn't... I need like a Lisa Chung or something like that in order to like figure out more information.
Yeah. Okay, so Lisa.
Yeah.
She's a dancer.
What?
Yeah.
How did you get that?
Because I immediately went to Lisa from Blackpink.
Yes.
And my college roommate, Lisa. She didn't really dance, but I like dancing with her.
I feel Lisa's such a funny name for a pop star, don't you think?
I like it. I mean, she has like, I think her solo, she goes under La Lisa when she does solo stuff. And I'm like, okay, so it's just Lisa. It's still like Lisa in there.
So is Lisa,
Lisa with a flair.
Well, hold on. Is Lisa, is she the one that's like, she's Thai or
She's
something?
Thai and she's like really good at dancing and she raps. But she's like an incredible dancer.
Fuck. Okay.
So she's a dancer.
Okay. You think it, no, it's not, we're not talking about the same person. This Lisa didn't. Okay, this Lisa's
No, she's
dancer.
not in Blackpink. She just is a dancer.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a dancer, but she was like nationally, like in national competitions when she was like up until the age of 12.
Okay.
And then she had an ankle injury.
Oh, shit.
And then kind of had a life crisis at 13 in 8th grade.
Okay.
And had to figure out like, oh, she thought she was going to be a dancer. And it all fell apart. And that's when she really fell in love with statistics.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And everything.
The classic story. Young girl moves to the big city and is like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Statistics.
Yeah, exactly.
That is my favorite math.
Really?
It is.
Okay, nice.
It's the only one I feel that you use all the time.
That's maybe, yeah, that's true.
And that's what Lisa said.
Yeah, that's what Lisa
So that's why she works for the Fed.
Yeah.
She works for the Fed. Did I tell you I met someone who worked for the Fed?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what they do, but
How did you meet?
They wanted to rent our apartment. And so I got to see like, they had to, submit all this information.
Yeah.
So I got to see like how much money they made and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Not that much money.
Okay.
Kind of sad. Kind of sad, to be honest with you. But Lisa works for the Fed, is a former dancer, still a pretty good dancer.
Yeah, I think she should come back out of retirement.
Pretty good dancer. Take care of yourself, take care of your ankle.
Yeah, your ankle.
If you want to take care of this podcast, go to patreon.com/Asian Not Asian Pod, and you can become a patron. And of course, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can leave a review, hit 5 stars. You can follow us on Spotify, and you can leave a comment on YouTube. You know what? Tell us which branch of math is your favorite?
Oh, yeah. What was mine?
Yeah, what is yours?
I don't even remember math. I was a poli-sci major.
None, no math.
I liked algebra.
Okay.
That was like sophomore year of high school. That's a while ago.
That's like an 8th grade math.
I know. I'm like, that was like maybe the last time I enjoyed it.
Listen, let me tell you this, okay? If you're on this podcast, you're not good at math.
No.
Except for maybe our guest.
Yeah, truly.
Although I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out with our guest.
You don't have to be good at math.
You don't have to. You know what? I'm gonna ask our podcast guest.
Yeah.
This, okay. Our podcast guest is, I want to say, a financial helper. Financial helper. Is it Forbes 30 under 30 lister? Here we go. Fire.
Yeah.
Runs amazing social media empire, I would call it. Your Rich BFF, and now it has a new podcast called Net Worth and Chill. Give it up right now for Vivian Tu, y'all.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're like a financial helper, I would say. Yeah, and you used to be a trader. Would you tell people you're good at math?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would.
You would? Okay. Fuck.
Okay.
Never mind. Okay.
So not all of your guests are bad at math.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at math.
Okay.
But like, I feel like I don't remember all of the really complicated math that I was like taking in college. I will say, I don't know if you guys have this experience, but growing up, my parents sent me to Kumon.
Oh shit.
It was the most traumatic experience of my entire life. But there is nobody in my life, whether it be the people I worked with on Wall Street, my fiance who still works in finance, nobody can do mental math faster than I can.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Not a one.
You mean like if we're eating dinner and we're like, hey, we gotta split the bill, but it's 18%, not 20% or something, you'll be like, got you.
Yeah.
Wow. And is that Kumon? Or
Is
is
that
that
from Kumon?
like,
That is from Kumon, because you know what they used to do? They had these workbooks and you would have to complete them in an allotted amount of time.
Stop. As soon as
so
you
it was
stop.
a timed event. And if you didn't
Oh God.
basically like clear it, it was like the pacer test that you ran in PE.
Yeah.
If you didn't clear the level, you would have to take that whole level again.
Until you could
see.
do it.
Correct. And so I was like, I just need to get through this program as fast as humanly possible. So I basically trained myself to do mental math very quickly and very accurately, so I wouldn't have to basically like repeat grades in Kumon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
As soon as you said workbook,
Yeah.
that's trauma.
Immediate trauma. Because
That's
you were
terrifying.
in like the 3rd grade and your mom would buy like the 6th grade workbook for you to do to try and like level you up.
Oh,
hell yeah.
100%.
Oh,
the worst.
Never did that.
The worst.
No.
You didn't do workbooks?
I did, but
I absolutely had to do workbooks.
it was just like, I don't know. I just feel like I was like a fine student, but there's something about just like doing it with speed.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Am I ever gonna be in? Maybe I will be in.
Like gun to your head, you need to do 80 math problems in under 60
Yeah.
seconds.
you will kill your whole family.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you do not clear this long division,
Yes.
you got 10 minutes.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna write that movie.
It's gonna
It's like
be
the new Beef. It's me.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like-
gonna write it.
It's going to be like
It's horror fully.
It's a
like,
horror.
Very scary.
That's
yeah.
very scary. So you retained your math speed.
Yeah.
that.
I would say like simple. You asked like what everybody's favorite math subject was. I would
Okay.
just say mine is just like basic algebra.
Yeah.
Like I can run through addition, subtraction, multiplication, division so fast. And now that I'm saying it out loud, it
Yeah.
sounds really immature and kind of embarrassing.
No.
However, I will say it has come in handy, like just gut checking stuff. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, we'll like check a bill. And I'm like that like feels wrong. And like my
Oh.
fiance or like my friends will be like, what do you mean that feels wrong? I'm like, that number doesn't look like it's right.
Yeah.
And I can just tell from jump that like something's off or we're missing a 0.
You never had that thing that you know how savants have like that synesthesia thing, where they like
see it?
like
Like
a
that
3
image
feels like
of Zach Galifianakis and like the
Yeah.
numbers are like
Yeah.
swirling
Yeah,
around his
yeah.
head. No.
Okay.
Like mine was like brute force
Right.
Kumon
Yeah.
into my
Traumaed.
body. Correct.
Yeah.
trauma version.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken your skills to the blackjack table though?
Oh damn. Well, you can't really say that out loud.
Well, you're right, okay? But I'm asking it anyways because you might as well make some money. I mean, you do make money, but make some other money.
I cannot confirm nor deny that I have taken this skill to the blackjack table. Honestly, I think for me, gambling is like, okay. Like, I would say that it's like fun, but it's not something that I'd like to spend a bunch of time doing.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just not a skill that I've really honed. Like,
Yeah.
I would literally rather just like be like laying down with my
Yeah.
eyes closed.
Totally. No, I agree.
Literally
with that.
anything
That's pretty
else.
fire. Yeah.
Like of all like the hobbies to have, like it's just not mine.
Yeah, I
which
totally
is funny
get that.
because I was a trader for a
Right.
living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But maybe that's why. Because you're
Yeah.
like, I don't need to do.
It
Like
does-
I do this for my day job. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to do
Right.
this as my hobbies.
Exactly.
it would make sense if a trader's hobby was lying down with your eyes closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
that
that's like
completely
really
makes sense.
so luxurious.
Correct.
You
Yeah.
never get the chance to do that.
None.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm really bad at like that kind of math. I'm like the opposite. I'm like super bad at mental math. I remember when I was a kid, I was in Taekwondo,
Okay.
and there's always tests, right?
Yeah.
To do to get to the next belt, and it was like, okay, you gotta like break a board, or you gotta like do this, form, or you gotta do these kicks, and that part never scared me. Breaking boards as a kid, like I would be like 8, and I was like breaking a board, but at the very end, my instructor would be like, because he's like keeping tabs. With like score with a number, and he'd be like, okay, so you got a 37 on here, and you got a 15 on here, and you got a 22 on here, and he would ask you what the total was
Yeah.
right
He
then
would
and there.
ask you?
He would ask the student right then and there.
Oh.
Like, what's your total? That part scared me. That part scared me.
You would try to do like round it up to like numbers that end in 5 to make the math.
No, I would
easier.
just be like, yo, can I just like break another board or something?
yeah.
That part always freaked me out. I could
Right.
never do it. It was too. way
That's
too
funny
much.
that they put like a mental math section in the
Can I
testing.
tell you how you should have thought about it?
Okay, yes, please.
Wait, what were the 3 numbers again?
Fuck, I don't remember now. Like, let's just say like 55, 37, 22.
Okay, so what you would do is take the 7
Okay.
and the 2, and you have 9.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So this is the problem though, because I need to see it because Kumon's all visual.
Yes.
But you would add up all the tens digits.
Yeah.
And then you would add up all the singles digits and then add them together.
Yeah.
You lost me.
You like break it apart.
No,
I know what you were saying.
Yes.
Algebra girlies.
I'm sweating. Once again. It's like I'm an 8-year-old.
Don't worry.
Sweating.
You're
The
gonna
trauma's
love,
back.
The trauma is back.
You're going to love my movie. They're going to be very nervous the whole time.
No, but thank you very much for coming on the show. You got a new podcast. You got all sorts of fun stuff. It's really nice to meet you.
Yes.
And I am anxious with you here because I have a lot of anxiety with money.
Really?
A ton. But I want to get into that a little bit later because first we're going to ask each other what kind of Asian we were this week.
Yes.
You want to ask me or you got something or you want to ask me?
Why don't you go?
Okay.
What kind of Asian were you this week, Mike?
I was a boys' night out Asian.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know it's going to be problematic because one of my friends is like moving. He's like, a British citizen, so he's moving back to the UK. And so me and two other guys and him went out and I don't know what it is about. I feel like when girls hang out and do stuff, they like build each other up. But when guys hang out, we're like building each other up emotionally, but like financially, we're like destroying each other.
I see.
Girls do the same thing.
Yeah?
Though. Yeah.
What does that mean? Can you clarify exactly how
we went to steak, right? And we love steak.
Yeah.
So like we went to the steakhouse and like we spent like, we just like ordered everything. We're just like, let's go. Like doesn't matter. We just like, okay, well, you want some lobster? Okay, let's get lobster. We did that. We had tons of drinks before. Then after, me and my friends were like walking to the subway. We're like, we've had a lot to drink. And one of my friends is like, hey, why don't we go to the strip club? Why?
Yeah, just because.
It's never a good idea.
Yeah.
And it was, I feel I went there and it was the best case scenario because we spent as little time as possible inside. I was talking to this nice young lady was talking to me.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know, somehow she started like talking about how she's like mixed race. So she was like, I'm Vietnamese and I'm Cambodian and I'm also like Puerto Rican and stuff like that. And then we started talking about like Vietnamese stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I having an Asian American moment in this strip club?
Yeah.
Am I about to make like a connection here?
You're building community.
Right.
Yeah.
But then she was like, so didn't you want to dance? And I was like, oh no, this was a trap.
I see.
This was a trap. And I was like, we have to go, guys. We have to go. We had already paid like that's like an entry fee.
Okay.
You know, it's like $40 or something like that.
Okay.
But we were in there for maybe like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And all of us lost like $100. Just like somehow we just like lost $100. And we're so close to making it home.
Yeah.
And then we decided to stop at the strip
by
club.
and have an adventure.
Why?
That lasted 15 minutes and also no one really wanted.
Nobody wanted it.
Okay, cool.
We just did it because it's something you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was rough.
You do things like that though for the plot.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this could go horribly,
Right. Yeah.
or it could go awesome, and then we'd have this sick story about the boys' night out right before our friend went back to the UK. So like, I feel like you just did it for the story.
Yeah, but except for there's barely a story.
The story did not work out well.
Well, it's because I'm like a married man with a kid, and I do not want those stories anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But aren't your friends also married with a child? With a kid?
One
the
of
British
them
friend
is. Yeah, one of them is my British friend.
I know, I've met him.
I put him on blast like crazy. I saw his wife the next day. And I was like, guess what? William did.
Yeah.
Okay. His name's William. So like, he's the one. This is why. If you see a charge on my card and you see a charge on his card, this is because of him.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, oh my god. But that's what that was like the kind of. Let me tell you this too, is that while I was there and this nice young lady was talking to me, I was like, talking about this on the podcast.
Yeah. You were like, this is material.
This is I'm writing off that $100 that I lost.
Yeah, it's for this.
If
That's
you're
a business deduction.
Absolutely.
Can I deduct that I know you're my financial helper. I know you're not a financial advisor. We want to put that out there. Can I deduct this?
I would not go so far as to deduct a visit to the strip club. However, I will say, if you were to have gone to a normal club and
Like a dance, like a
nightclub.
Okay.
And if you were to have purchased a table and filmed the entire night and been like, this was my XYZ birthday party. This is, what we got. This is what we're doing. Had people come out, had like a true event for your birthday or something, and like had brand sponsors, and it was like a legitimate business event. Yes, in theory, you could have written that table off.
Oh.
However, your $100 snafu with a strip club, I don't think that counts. I'm gonna be real with you.
That all makes sense to me. I think that's
Yeah.
very sound direction.
Was that one of the dumbest financial questions you've ever gotten?
No.
Really?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Like literally not even close.
Okay, I feel better. No, actually, I still feel terrible, but for other reasons.
Yeah, that's unrelated.
That's unrelated. We want to come back to that.
Yeah,
we want to come back to
let's
that.
circle back.
Jenny, do you have a story you want to share?
I don't really have a story, but I can do just an update of my life.
Yeah, give me an update.
I am a running Asian.
Oh, that's right.
I'm in the middle of half marathon training.
Oh my God.
I'm at the peak right now. Like this week is when I'm running the most because it's going to wind down leading into my race.
You have to taper.
Yeah, taper. So May 20th is my race.
Oh my God,
so
you've been doing this whole time, huh?
yeah,
I forgot you were doing that.
I do joke a lot. I talk about it a lot in person, but I'm trying not to be annoying about it on the podcast.
I mean, but it's not just that, but it's also you give off the vibe of like someone who is like horizontal a lot.
Absolute drag, and it's also
Bro.
true. It's also true. I am horizontal a lot. If I'm not running, I'm pretty much horizontal.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I have been running consistently for
fair
since
enough. I
like
believe you.
February.
Okay.
Yeah. But I hit a point where I'm like outrunning people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh my
I'm
God.
like in Prospect Park running like 9 miles. And so then I like go in and I like am like outrunning people and I'm like, yeah, like I'm hitting the point where my achievement oriented brain is like, this is why I do this.
Oh my God.
So I'm like just constantly kind of moving right now.
Yeah.
Am I exhausted? Am I horizontal otherwise? Yeah, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
My brain, the last episode I talked about how my brain is tired. This episode is how my body's tired.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at. A listener did DM me and said, you don't have to run this much to train.
Really?
Which was very kind message. Yet here I am, absolutely not taking that advice.
But you feel, I mean, I know you're tired, but like you feel good that you're like ready. I'm ready now.
Yeah, I like feeling prepared. And to be honest, I like that when I'm running, I have a valid reason to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. My brain is like, oh, this is my chance to like actually really seriously not be able to look at anything.
Yeah.
So that has been kind of freeing, which I think is a longer discussion about mental health stuff that I need to continue having. But it has been nice for that because I got 2 calls on a run this week. And after that, I was like, I need to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, fuck that.
So I've decided that is my time where I'm going to fully log off.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, it feels good. I'm like almost there. And from here, tomorrow, if it's not like this weather, which is disgusting right now, I will run 10 miles and then we'll taper down from here.
10 miles?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just,
What's
I have a running
far.
plan and I'm following it.
that's far.
I know it's
like
a
really
lot.
far.
That's really far.
It's a lot, but it really feels good afterwards
Okay.
when I'm lying down and eating like Taco Bell.
You could just skip to just straight
I
to the
know.
Taco Bell part.
Everyone's like, you don't have to do this to eat Taco Bell. I'm like, yeah, but imagine doing it and then eating Taco Bell.
That's fair.
So I was a running Asian.
Vivian, have you done half marathons? Nothing?
No. Oh my
Okay,
God.
whoa.
That is
I was the
insane
girl.
thing.
I was the girl in gym class who would like walk the mile.
I love that.
That's such
Like I run a 12 and a half minute mile. Like it's not impressive
There's
at all.
no reason to do it.
No.
And as a person on this side, I'm like, there's absolutely no reason for any human to do this. Yet here I am.
Yeah.
I think I like the structure.
Of just like having something to do.
Yeah, like having a goal.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's kind of a longer discussion for my therapist to
Okay.
kind of unravel.
All right. Well, next time we'll have your therapist on here.
Yeah,
and we can
absolutely.
Continue that conversation. Vivian, do you have what kind of Asian were you this week?
I hate to say this, but you know that TikTok sound where it's like, oh, I'm afraid I've girl bossed a bit too close to the sun.
Yes,
like
yes.
that was that kind of Asian I was this week. I just felt like such a productive worker bee.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
I have
God.
so much coming up. Like you mentioned, I launched Net Worth and Chill, my podcast. Just had a really amazing brand partnership come in for the next year.
Wow.
I'm like
Cool.
really, really excited about. May, I mean, my May travel schedule is the scariest thing I have ever seen. You know, I have my place in New York and I have my place in Miami. I think between the two, I'm spending 4 days
Oh my God.
in my own home, and every other day in the month, I'm somewhere else.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Where you
God.
going?
I mean, looks like I'm doing LA, Baltimore, Chicago, Memphis, Turks and Caicos.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of slipped in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah. That was
Little
like
flex there.
That's
Yeah.
my vacation. So like,
Yeah.
I just kind of like, I was like, yeah, one of these things does not belong.
Yeah.
It's like the vacation.
Okay.
Got it.
At least you got a vacation in there.
Yeah. Are you good with traveling? Like, are you good being on the go?
No.
Okay.
No, completely unhinged.
Yeah.
Like, cannot get comfortable on the plane.
Yeah.
I'm horrible.
So this is going to be a test.
Like the time zone changes, not good for me.
Yeah.
Like sleeping in a bed that's not my own, not good for me.
Yeah.
Different pillow densities, not good for me. Like I'm just gonna be like, you know, like I'm like in bed sometimes and I toss and turn. I'm like, wow, I literally feel like I'm getting a free exorcism. Like it's gonna go bad.
Right.
But you know, we're gonna make it. It's
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
be wonderful.
You're going to figure it out.
I feel exorcisms are usually free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I could
You've never paid for an exorcism?
Well, I could see eventually maybe some white lady in Brooklyn would be like, I'm charging for exorcisms.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure you already have to. I bet you there's people who
Artisanal exorcism.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of
It's very gentle.
moon
Yeah.
memes and anyways, from what you've just told me, and I was listening to your podcast, so not relatable. You are such an achiever.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
You do so much stuff. I was listening and I was like, oh, when I read on your website, you were like, oh, you started this amazing thing. But you had a job. You were like making $600,000 a year. As soon as I read that, I was like, who is this person? You're crazy. You're insane. I often have a like a mental experiment, a thought experiment, where if somebody gave me, I don't know, like a brownstone, would I stop doing comedy? And there was a point in my life where I was like, for sure, I would keep doing comedy. But now, if somebody gave me like $500, I might be like, I will never make a joke ever again. I will do it. I'm just like, you just like, how do you walk away from stuff like that? This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, the other day I was putting on my shoes before heading out the door, and my feet were hurting. My feet always hurt when I put on my shoes, and for years it's been like that. And I suddenly realized, oh my God, I'm actually a size 10 shoe, not a size 9 like I've always thought I was a size 9 in my 20s, and now I realize I'm a size 10. Well, what does shoe size have to do with mental health? Turns out a lot. Because I think a lot of us just get used to living with pain or discomfort, and we never sit and reflect on what's really causing the suffering. We're all changing and growing all the time, and it's not just in our feet. We change and grow as people, and it takes real work to figure that out. That's where therapy comes in. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, and figuring out just how you're growing and what's driving that growth. If you're interested in trying therapy, give BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist you can take on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Asian today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Asian. You know where I'm recording this ad from on top of my Helix Sleep Mattress. Okay, not really. I am in the same room as my Helix Sleep Mattress. For years, I had those cheap, crappy mattresses you get from some big box store. And since I got my Helix mattress a couple years ago, I sleep better and recover from jujitsu better. Yes, I managed to sneak jujitsu into this ad. And now that I've got my son, it's even better. We get to snuggle on there and read books, and it's awesome. He falls asleep on there all the time. Helix offers 20 unique mattresses, including the very fancy schmancy Luxe collection. Helix offers all kinds of mattresses, from mattresses with memory foam for side sleepers to responsive foam for stomach and back sleepers. There's even mattresses for big and tall sleepers and for kids. Take the Helix Sleep Quiz to find your perfect mattress in just 2 minutes. When you're ready, your personalized mattress is sent right to your door free of charge. But don't just take my word for it. Helix offers a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new mattress. Check it out and go to helixsleep.com/Asian and enter promo code HelixPartner to get 20% off. That's right. It's helixsleep.com/Asian, promo code HelixPartner to get 20% off.
You got to think about it, because if you get that brownstone, who's going to pay those property taxes?
Yeah.
You got to keep comedy
This is
in.
why.
So true.
This is why.
Yeah.
This is what's up. I didn't even think about that. You're thinking fourth dimensionally.
I will say I'm very lucky in that I have been so fortunate to have the time to build my business and surround myself with really smart, effective people. And I've put this structure up about myself, and I've worked very hard to do that. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of girl bossing, a lot of grinding that I'm I don't try to talk about as much, because I don't think hustle culture is healthy.
Oh, word?
No, not
but
at all.
you'd be flying around all over the place.
Yeah, but then I'll literally tell people on my Instagram, I'll be like, haha, my mental health is in the shitter today. It is not, I'm not doing good. And
you come to the right place, though.
I know, seriously, have you heard me talk?
And I'm really honest about that, because I've built this structure, so I have these things in my business, but I am just as much of teenage dirtbag as everybody else. I am just as sluggish as everybody else. I am not running 10 miles. Before this, I was filing my fingernails on my couch, eating a black seed bagel and watching TV with my fiance, because it's raining outside, and I made him go get the bagels. I didn't even want to go.
See that? That now I relate to.
Yeah.
There you go.
I feel like for me, the whole concept of being relatable is just about being honest. Yes, I'm successful. Yes, I can do these cool things in my business, but a lot of people can do those things, but they're yes, I just snap my fingers and I got this. And it's no, I have what I have because I had a mental breakdown last week, and I cried to my therapist, the week before that. And I think there's a lot to be said about social media making it really easy for us to share that just because it looks good on the outside, just because the feed looks good doesn't mean that inside I'm doing okay.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Do you feel what is that intersection of, because you obviously help people with their financial, thinking about financial stuff, but is there also a point where does that also work with mental health, because for me, I get wild. I was telling you earlier, I get super anxious with thinking about money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I try to.
Most people do.
Yeah.
I just feel, this is how I describe it. I have mentioned this before. I feel no matter what, where I put the little money I have, I put it in whatever 401k. Maybe I just save it liquid. Whatever I do, I make the wrong decision. I always feel I made the wrong decision. I have a bunch of money. I was trying to save up to buy a house, and then the fucking pandemic happened, right? And inflation is crazy and interest rates are nuts. And I was like, well, fuck, I had this money and I should have yeeted it on some Jordan 1s. You know what I'm saying? Jordan 1's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's how I always, that's how what it feels to me. No matter what, you pick the wrong box, Mike,
I think that anxiety comes from people feeling that exact same way, that they're going to make the wrong decision. But I think the worst decision is not talking or thinking about it at all, because I know what people do is they get really overwhelmed, and then they're like, this is a problem for next weekend. Yeah. And then next weekend rolls around and they're like, this is a problem for next weekend. Totally. And then you're 5 years down the line and you're like, oh shit, I never started contributing to my 401k. I never started, saving. I never started preparing for this future family or this future home that I want. And I think whether or not you think you made the right decision, if you are even just starting to set some money aside or putting money away into an investment vehicle, like a retirement account, like a 401k, and then at least selecting investments, you're in a better position than you were before you did that. So don't let that, buyer's remorse get you. You're probably doing a lot better than you personally think.
Yeah.
That said, I think everybody feels this sense of dread because we're not taught about this in schools, right? Like we're talking about this, like you learn statistics, you learn about math, you learn about writing, you learn about science, you learn about history, you learn about everything in school. And I went to public school and I was never taught to invest. And I was never taught about all of the things that I learned when I got to Wall Street. And frankly, I didn't learn about them in college either. And I went to Chicago. Like I went to the right kind of school.
Right.
And I put air quotes, guys, I'm not an asshole. But like, I learned about all of those things on the job. And frankly, I got that job just because all of the other smart kids, quote unquote, at UChicago were like interviewing for those jobs. I was like, oh, I don't really know what to do, like what I want to do, but like everybody else seems to be doing this and like it seems to pay pretty good. So like, I'll do this. And, the same way that I learned how to be good with my money, like I learned about other things and it made me more comfortable in those areas as well. So like, I think one of the coolest things that's not financial, well, it's sort of financial related that I learned on Wall Street was how to flip Jordans.
What? Really?
Yeah. So
really? So funny.
So I sat near a guy who was an absolute sneakerhead.
Yeah.
Like so crazy about sneakers.
Like another trader?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was on the sales trading team, but yes, he came over one night. He was talking about like this Nike Off-White collab. And I had never even heard of Virgil Abloh at the time.
Okay.
Wow.
And he was like, okay, everybody, I need you to download this app. I'm like, okay, SNKRS. Like, I'm going to get that app. Great. That app would go on to like ruin my day for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And he was like, at 1 p.m., we're all going to try and buy these sneakers. And I was like, okay, like, what's the big deal? And he was like, and I was like, wait, but I like, first off, at the time, like it was like my first or second year and I barely had any money in my bank account. I was like, sir, I don't even know if I can afford these. Like I might hit a
even
overdraft
if you hit them.
fee.
Yeah.
And he was like, if you get these sneakers, if there's any reality in which you obtain these, I will buy them for you from jump for twice what you paid. I'm like, done. You don't got to tell me twice. And none of us got any of those sneakers that day. However, as time went on, we continued to do this and I ended up buying things like the UNC Off-White Jordan 1s, the light blue and the whites.
Blue ones, yep. I got
3 pairs of those.
Is right.
What, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You are rich. That's wealth.
But you know what's so crazy? At the time, I had no money. Like, no money.
Yeah.
And I ended up moving into a horrible apartment that was roach infested.
Oh
and
my God.
the money that I made flipping sneakers was the reason why I was able to break my lease.
Wow.
Because it was $8,000 to break my lease.
Yep.
And I didn't have it.
Yeah.
And me and my roommate, we had to find $4,000 a piece. And I was like, I literally only have this money because I flip sneakers. Like, she went and asked her parents for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, sick. I don't have to ask my parents.
Yeah.
And so this relationship that I have with money is so positive because money has gotten me out of a pinch.
Yeah.
Has gotten me out of desperate situations and it put me in positions of power.
Yeah.
So that I can make decisions that were like, oh, I don't have to stay in this roach infested apartment.
Yep.
I can do whatever the fuck I want because I have this 4Gs.
Yeah.
Now I don't really flip sneakers anymore. I still whiff on sneakers all the time. I'm contemplating buying those new Chicago Jordan 1s that came out.
The Lost and Founds?
Yes.
Those aren't too expensive. They're okay.
They're like moderately priced. And I'm like, should these be like the first pair of sneakers that I buy off the secondary market?
Wow.
Because those were the ones that got me interested in the game in the first place.
Yeah.
And they're just so cool.
They're beautiful new
I
shoes.
want them.
So when you buy the sneakers, sorry, I'm like the opposite of a sneakerhead. I don't know anything about it. When you buy the sneakers, are you guessing what will be popular or do you have a sense of what will be?
There is an app that is basically like the stock market for sneakers. I don't even want to say this app's name because it's such a shitty app.
I know what you mean. One. Yeah.
So StockX
is
literally the worst app. It is just heinous fees, horrible user experience, app interface sucks. And yet, every time, before a sneaker drop, you would go onto StockX and be like, oh, where's this shoe trading at?
Yes.
In the same way, like, where's the stock trading at? So, like, if you knew you could buy a pair of shoes from Nike for $200 and it was selling for $700 or $800, you knew you could make $500.
Got it.
And what's the craziest thing is, you would be able to, if you bought the sneakers, you got the sneakers magically, because sneakers never, like, the app never works.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You would then be able to see the delivery date. And you knew that StockX gave you 3 days to, this is where this mental math comes in. So the StockX would give you 3 days.
This is why you went to Kumon.
Yeah, to drop off your shoes at the UPS. So you would time it so that on the day that it would arrive would be your last day that you had to drop it off at UPS. Sometimes you actually get an extra day. They actually give you a buffer, so you knew you had 4. But you would do that because that would be the day that the shoe would be trading at its highest point. And if you waited any longer,
then it would
the
go
price
down.
values would come down.
See,
there's a whole world out there.
You should start.
So instead of gambling, this is what I was doing, because I did enjoy buying and selling things to make money.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
This is fascinating.
You just started this podcast. I need you to stop it so you can start a second podcast called Sneaker Flippin' with Vivian Tu. Okay, because that was amazing. That was really interesting.
But I don't want other people flipping sneakers. I want people to buy these sneakers. I want to wear them.
Yeah. If you can't provide too much advice there. Yeah.
That's fair. I sometimes think. I mean, what do you think? This is just now you just piqued my curiosity. What do you think about from a former trader point of view about the whole sneaker thing? Because I have a theory that the reason why everybody is so into flipping sneakers and a lot of things and like whatever luxury culture is because actually of income inequality. Because this is the way that people, like a kid in wherever, instead of having to work minimum wage somewhere and work 500 years in order to whatever get a down payment, he can flip a sneaker and start catching up on the game really quick.
It's certainly another source of, I wouldn't call it passive income. You certainly have to do a lot of work on the app. You have to go to the UPS. You got to get got to get the tape to wrap the box. Like, you have to do all this stuff. But I would say it was certainly quick money.
Yeah.
And it was almost risk-free, right? Because Nike does have a return policy. Like, if you bought a pair of shoes that didn't end up working out, or like you couldn't make money on, like, you could just return them.
Yeah.
And frankly, even if you were just breaking even, you could be churning through credit card points because you would get the money back to pay off your
I didn't even think about the credit card points.
Like, there was so much reason for me to be doing that, because I was making, I want to say my base salary my first year was like $85,000.
Sure.
I was working 14 hours a day. And then I'd had to go to client events after work. I was not, like, I lived in a studio apartment with another girl. Like, there was no wall between our beds. It was just a glorified NYU dorm room.
Yeah.
And people thought that these Wall Street young people were like living the glamorous, luxurious life. And like, you see it on TV, they have like these amazing 3-bedroom apartments. I'm like, in what world? In what world? Because I was obviously moving into roach-infested apartments.
Right.
So I think in terms of fighting income inequality, I think it's true. Like, it's really awesome that people can do this to make additional money.
Right.
However, I think this system has been abused so aggressively to the point where, like, people can't even do that anymore, because everybody, like, if you have money, you just buy a bot.
Right. Yeah. The bot is doing the work now. Yeah.
Like, what was there was a woman who worked at Nike, and her son got the bot, and he ended up getting like 100 pairs of like this ultra coveted sneaker.
Really?
And then he posted a photo
it on
like a complete dumbass. And he's like, look at me in these 100 pairs of multi sizes of these shoes. And he was selling them, and he got his mom fired.
Oh my God.
Like, what a loser.
Yeah.
He killed the golden goose, man. He had the on the inside and everything.
He did not, like, if he just did not flex, he could have kept doing that.
Yes.
Wow. I did not know about any of this.
Yeah.
There's a lot
of drama in like sneakerhead culture.
Totally.
That's I feel another aspect of it is for the financial thing is the flexing on social media aspect of it. But I wanted to ask you also, you had this really interesting thing. I can't remember where I read it, but it was like, it might have just been on your website, but it's like, you started this, you started your Rich BFF because you were going on dates with dudes and they'd be pulling down all sorts of money and they were like buying all sorts of stuff, but they were making terrible financial decisions.
So It was one specific date in particular.
Yes.
I love it.
You gotta bring it on. Oh my God. I'm gonna turn off my mic.
You know, it's so funny. I wonder if he's ever heard me talk about this, because that'd be really embarrassing for him.
I
don't know. He still follows me on Instagram.
Oh shit.
I don't follow him though.
Okay, power move.
So this guy and I went on a date, and he was working at an investment bank. He was a baby banker, and he came from generational wealth. His dad was a CEO of a pretty major company, and we were both like just like having a good time, joking around, and I like noticed that he had like really nice stuff, and I was like, wow, like this guy's like apartment is so much nicer than mine. Like, why does he have a Rolex? He's wearing Ferragamo loafers, like, you know, just like the Ferragamo belt. He had like, I was like, oh, like you smell nice. Like he'd be like, oh yeah, it's like this new cologne I got, and I'd be like, that cologne is like $250. Like, how are you paying for this? Because I know what he was making, because we were the same level, we were the same age, same graduation year. And he like told me, like we had gone out for drinks, and by that I meant like tequila shots. And so we were like very drunk, and he told me, he was like, oh yeah, like, you know, I have like 5-figure credit card debt. I tell you, I have never cringed so hard in my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, I'm looking at your 5-figure credit card debt right now on your body.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that watch is your 5-figure credit card debt. Like, how the fuck did you pay for that?
Right.
Can you return it? And it was kind of bizarre to me that he would come from generational money. Like his dad was a CEO. Their family was very well to do. You would have this job that pays well, one of the best jobs that you can get out of college in terms of pay. You live in New York City, you work in finance, so like you very literally understand how the numbers crunch, and be doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you like paying interest on stuff you buy? Because I don't. I'm trying to get the lowest price possible. I'm trying to, you know, like, I remember treating myself to a pair of Stuart Weitzman boots, and they were like $800. And I was like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna wait until Black Friday. I'm gonna buy it from a department store to do that, you know, buy $800, get a $200 off credit. Then I'm gonna make sure I buy it online using Rakuten so I get cash back. I'm gonna use my credit card to get credit card points. I was like, these shoes are now $400.
Totally.
And in my mind, I was like, I've earned these $400 shoes. And this dude would just like walk into a store and be like, yes, like sales associate, please talk to me, woo me. And I was like, you're an idiot. And so it didn't really work out.
Yeah. I was going to say, was that the last date that you had after that?
No, because I'm stupid. But but you know, it didn't end up going
It wasn't looking good.
Yeah, it wasn't looking. It was downhill from there.
But I do think people who come from wealth don't understand budgeting at all. Like I've had conversations with people who do come from that, who literally don't understand, like they have debt because they don't understand like the concept of like money in, money out at all.
Right.
Just because you have a lot of money doesn't make you good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it has a lot to do with how you're raised. And for me, my parents are Chinese immigrants. They came to the US in their early 20s from Shanghai. Like they love to tell the story of like, oh, we came over with 2 suitcases and inexplicably small amount of money in my pocket. You know, we carried our lunch pail uphill both ways, no shoes to school. I'm like, okay, great, mom. I get it. And they were really focused on cost cutting. Like they were very, very frugal. My mom, I'm pretty confident she like still washes Ziploc bags. I'm like, mom, that's
I do that.
Disgusting.
No, they're pretty good still
That
after.
is how you harbor mold.
It depends what you put in them.
Yeah, but like, like you know, my parents are super, super frugal, and my parents to this day are super frugal, and they are in a very different financial situation than when they came to America. Like, my dad's retired now, but like, my mom is a consultant. In my final years, my dad was coding for NASA. Like they were making great money and had this great life, and they are still very frugal. And I grew up being that way, even though I had a different expectation of my life. So like, you talk about keeping up on social media, right? Like back in the day, it was keeping up with the Joneses. Like you looked at your neighbor with your little binoculars and you would be like, oh, like the Joneses got a new flat screen TV. I need a new flat screen TV. The Joneses got a new lawnmower. I need a new lawnmower. Or like they got a new car. I need a new car. now the Joneses are literally every single one of your friends on Instagram.
Yeah.
And like you're looking at people flying private, getting BBLs, like getting their lips done, going on vacation. And you're like, is this normal?
Yeah.
Is that life? Like, should I be doing those things? And like, if you are to do all of those things, because you're not even just comparing against one person, because one person might be getting, you know, one thing and another person's getting another thing. You're comparing to all of them.
Yeah.
Like, there is not enough money in the world for you to satisfy that itch. Like, no money in the world. And, you know, when we compare to people, it puts us in a position where we're making bad financial decisions.
Yep.
100%.
Damn. So don't have any friends,
Well,
anybody.
I was going to say, I'm luckily surrounded by a bunch of like not
comedians.
not wealthy comedians.
Yeah, those guys are broke.
Yeah, no one's had a BBL around me. It's fucked up.
That's crazy, man. That's such a. I feel like that is not. That's not just like a financial piece of advice. That's like a life piece of advice. Because you do that with with anything. You compare yourself to whoever. On
Comparison
Instagram or
is the thief of joy.
100%.
Because you will look at someone else's Instagram and convince yourself that you have a bad life.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you're
shit.
like, I don't have those things. Do those things really make that person happy? I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I will say, as I've made more money in my career, I have actually been less inclined to purchase greater shows of wealth. So like when I was working on Wall Street and I was barely clearing six figures my second year, I spent the whole year budgeting, and at the end of the year, I bought a black Saffiano leather Prada bag. And it was the first designer bag I'd ever owned. It was the first designer bag I'd ever bought. And I was like salivating at the store.
Yeah.
And sweating when I charged my credit card for it.
Of course.
Nothing ever felt as good as that bag.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Every bag I bought after that, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And like now that I'm making more and more and more money, I'm like, what do I have to prove?
Yeah.
People know what I make. I've showed them on the internet.
Yeah.
Like people know I'm a millionaire. What do I have to prove? Because when you buy those things, I think in part you're like, oh, I like this item. But in part it's also like, I'm showing that I have the means to do this.
Yeah.
And I would rather put my money into investments and retire at 40 and gallivant in my little, south of France home than have the Cartier bracelet that all of my girlfriends are getting.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the more I make, the less I feel like I need to prove.
Very Succession. I just binge watched Succession.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck, marry, kill. Kendall, Roman, Tom, or Greg.
Oh, four of them.
You get four, but one. Okay, you get to kill two of them.
Okay, I get to kill two of them. Oh, do you watch Succession?
I've seen a few episodes, so I can kind of follow along, but not really.
This is real. Do you have an answer?
No, you have to go first.
Oh my God. I would definitely not fuck Roman. Kind of a lot of issues there.
Don't you feel like that would be the craziest sex though?
But he's so afraid of it. I hope this isn't like ruining Succession for people who haven't watched it, but if you haven't watched it, you're later than I am. I think I would marry Tom. Is that weird?
Yes.
I thought Tom was so sweet.
He gives me the ick.
Oh, what? I like
he was
him
definitely
because,
a kill.
Oh my God, no.
He's a kill.
I like Tom, but I think I just like that actor.
Yeah, that actor's good.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't really like Kendall either. I don't want to fuck. I guess I would. I don't want to fuck Greg. I guess I would fuck Roman or Kendall. But Roman might be scared and run away in the middle of it. That's like that would make me feel so bad.
Yeah.
If he was just like, I can't, and then just like left, I'd be like, oh my God, my confidence. I guess, yeah. None of them are good, but I would marry Tom. Okay. Is that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, he was so nice. I think he's just so sweet.
That's why I would marry cousin Greg.
Oh yeah, but he's so bumbling and like an idiot.
Yeah, but okay. That's true.
I'm Googling
None of them are
Succession.
great.
Yeah, none of them are great. Yeah, that's why I was like, this is actually kind of horrible.
Yeah.
I would actually kill a lot of them.
Yeah, that's why I gave you two.
Yeah.
I should have given you two fucks, and then you'd be really, really screwed.
I know, seriously.
All right, what's your answer?
Well, so I would marry cousin Greg.
Uh-huh.
probably fuck Kendall and kill Roman.
I was gonna say I'd probably fuck Kendall too, because Roman would literally run away, make me feel bad. He would be like, you'd have to do something super weird, like, you know what I mean, to like get him to like be down. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
We're not going to ask about the old guy.
Logan?
Can we throw Logan in there?
Oh, Logan.
Let's throw Logan in there.
Oh, Mary. Are you joking? Like, I'm trying to call his mistress a Uber to the subway.
Yeah.
Wow, this is an angle of the podcast I had never thought we would cover.
It was important. It's also because I just caught up this week, so it feels
I feel like
very relevant.
I derailed where this was going.
No, I love it.
This is exactly
This is where it should go.
No, you took the rail directly into the station we needed to go to because we need to talk about fucking Logan Roy. Okay, that's marrying him. Excuse me.
Yeah, marry, not fuck.
Dude. That's gross.
Yeah.
That's gross, Mike.
Yeah, it's
My
for
bad.
marriage. It's for marriage.
My bad.
It's for love. No, I'm just kidding.
I love that you're here. We have a guild game we're going to play, and we've been kind of doing it as we've been going along. But I feel since you're here, you're our financial, would you say financial friend?
Yeah. That's what I
best
love.
friend.
The financial best friend. Like, I am just your best friend who happens to be good with money.
Love that.
Why? What is that? What is that aspect of best friendness? Why is that important?
Because for so long, everybody who's ever talked about money was an old white guy in a suit on CNBC.
Oh, yeah.
And like, it was so inaccessible.
I had this joke, and it would only work. I don't even know if it'll work, but I watch CNBC sometimes, and I realize it's BuzzFeed for old white guys.
Yes.
It's like top 10. You won't believe how this guy spends his money. Top 5 stocks in healthcare you should be on.
This is actually super funny because I used to work at BuzzFeed.
Okay, yeah. It feels like it's
completely accurate.
It's BuzzFeed.
Yeah, and it's been completely inaccessible to people that look like us.
Yeah.
If you were a person of color, if you were a woman, if you were part of the LGBTQ community, if you were just like marginalized and like grew up low income, like you didn't have somebody talking to you about how to be good with money.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, all right, well, you got, 12 years in school and like, good luck.
Yeah.
And I think the best friend piece comes from the fact that I try to explain concepts or make content that looks like it could be made by your best friend in college. I look like I could be anybody's best friend. Like, I am that girl who will go out with you, take 7 tequila shots on a Friday night, and then Saturday morning be like, okay, like, let's talk about your savings accounts over mimosas and like get a bagel because I'm about to die.
Yeah.
And like, I want that to be the vibe of the channel because you will spill your secrets. You feel so comfortable. Like, if you just close your eyes and imagine your best friend. You love that person. Like, your best friend, you would go to the ends of the earth for that person. You would tell that person your dirtiest, darkest secrets that you won't even tell your parents.
Yep.
Because you trust them. Because they're honest with you and you're honest with them. And that is why the whole best friend piece is so important, because I'm not talking to you like I'm your professor lecturing you.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you like your mom or dad yelling at you.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you from a position of equality. I'm not better than you. I'm not worse than you. We are equal. We are peers. And that is how the information should be directed.
Yes.
Because you're going to be so much more open and so much more willing to hear me out if I present it that way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
It's true.
Well, we're going to ask our BFF right now. We're going to play a game called Good Investment, Bad Investment.
Okay.
We're going to list out a couple things, and you're going to tell us, is this a good idea? Is it not a good idea? Some of the things we've been talking about. But I wanted to just cover off on a few things, get some free advice. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great.
First, the Off-White Jordan 1s that we've been talking about. Or is it good investment, bad investment now? Right now. Not back then when it came out. Now.
Today.
Which I think on StockX, let's look.
Oh my God. These are like 10 G's, dude.
Oh God, they got to be like, let's see here. Off-White ones.
Wait, the
When did they
Off-White
come out?
UNCs or the white ones?
The Off-White Chicagos. I'm talking about Off-White Chicagos. They're about, it depends what size, $5,900. They used to be 10 G's.
Yeah.
They've actually gone down, I feel.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think? Are we going in on this now? It's about 5 G's. We think it's going to go up or down.
I'm going to say, while I do think there will continue to be price appreciation as more people wear theirs, or as there's just fewer like on ice shoes.
Yes.
I don't think it's a good investment because there are other places that are better to put your money. Also, I don't know if you've seen these videos, but like if you keep your shoes on ice for too long, they like deteriorate.
They deteriorate.
So like this isn't like a gold bar that you're keeping in like an airtight room. Like this is a shoe that will just fall apart over time.
I'm glad that you brought up gold bars because as Asian people, we all have gold bars.
Literally, shit.
Did your parents ever have gold bars?
Maybe.
You really? Yeah. my mom, she doesn't have them anymore, but clear memory of us going to a physical bank, safety deposit box.
Gold bars.
Gold bars.
Oh my God.
Stupid.
Mom with the gun.
Bad. Mom with the strap?
In Texas. This is just how we rolled.
Okay.
And she was just like, yo, we got to move this gold. And she would just be like, I got to bring the gun. And just like, she had the gold. It's a bad idea. It's not a good idea to have gold.
You know,
the gold bars.
I don't think it's a
like Scrooge McDuck style.
I think physical gold is a dumb investment because one, you have to store it.
Yes,
that is space that you have to take up.
Yeah.
You know, in massive quantities, obviously, that costs money to store stuff. Two, not so liquid. What are you going to do? Where are you going to sell that? You're going to go to the pawn shop and get half of what it's worth?
Right. It's
not smart. If you're going to invest in gold as a hedge against inflation, like, sure, you can just buy a gold ETF. It's a lot easier than carrying a physical brick with you. And frankly, I don't even know if gold is like the best hedge against inflation. So like, I'm like, gold's mid.
Gold is mid.
Sorry, dude.
I've never heard anyone use the word mid
while
to describe
a
piece of a piece of collateral.
Yeah,
before,
totally.
So.
That's pretty mid.
I want if I ever have to buy one day, I hope I can buy a house, but I want you on my team and going, yo, this inflation. I mean, this interest rate mid. That's a great way to describe it.
You know what they're going to turn around and say, though?
What are they going to say?
This interest rate's mid because your credit score is mid.
Damn!
Yeah. And that's a sleigh.
That's a sleigh.
And that's a sleigh.
And we've lost all of our Gen Z listeners. Okay, how about this one? Therapy bill, $150 a month.
Great investment.
Great investment.
Best
That's
investment.
low.
Great investment.
Best investment because first off, that tells me you're only going to therapy probably once or twice a month.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I think prioritizing your mental health is so important, right? Like there are a few things in your life that you will never be able to buy back.
Yeah.
And that is health and time.
Yep.
You can buy everything else back.
Yeah.
So for me, investing in yourself, investing in your mental health is 100% worth it. Always.
Okay.
Hard agree.
How about let's flip it up. Let's flip it. Brazilian butt lift. I don't know how much they cost.
Atrocious investment. Okay, so I actually asked my girlfriend, who is a surgeon. She's a plastic surgeon. She's like literally one of the smartest people I know. And I was like, what's your take on the BBL? And she said, literally the most terrifying surgery possible.
Really? Wow.
The death rate.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredibly high. It's like actually, I think it's like 1%.
Oh, that's
or like
huge.
something insane. Like every 100 people, one person dies.
Yeah.
That's a very, very bad odd for you
Yeah.
in terms of surgery. And especially compared to other types of plastic surgery, like, you know, if you get a boob job or a nose job or like get your lips done, like the chance of you passing away dead is much, 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 much lower. So like if you're going to get plastic surgery, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But the BBL in particular is an incredibly dangerous surgery. So many people die, and it's extremely expensive because one, insurance doesn't cover it, and a lot of people who can't afford it go get back alley BBLs, and these unaccredited doctors, random people are just shooting like cement into people's asses, and so people die. So 0 out of 10, do not recommend. If you've got a flat, small scallion pancake butt like me, just live your life.
I like
and
the
do some
scallion
squats.
pancake, not a regular pancake.
Yeah, it's got to be Asian.
I can imagine
Asian
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that too.
I mean, I love me a scallion. I love me a scallion pancake.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
Think about that. Think about how much you love a scallion pancake. Show yourself that same love.
Yeah. It's a point of pride.
Okay, this one's just for fun. How about 7 tequila shots with your best friend?
Oh. Depends. Depends. Okay, so.
Okay. I feel you thought about this.
I know.
Frequently.
Okay.
Frequently. So I will say the tequila shots themselves, not worth it, okay? Because you can buy a bottle of Don Julio or Patron yourself, chill it in your own fridge, and shoot those shots before you leave for the club.
Yeah.
Before you leave for the bar. However, the memories you make on a night where you take 7 tequila shots in a row, unbeatable.
Yeah.
No
That's
price
true.
tag on good
Exactly.
That's a good point.
That's
If
how
you remember.
I mean, that's the part you have to remember.
you remember.
Yeah. You
Well
gotta
enough.
know where your line is.
Yeah. And it's definitely not 7 for me. That's like insane.
Like, yeah, 1/2 tequila shot for Jenny.
For me, I'm like a featherweight. So,
all right, let's review. Off-white Jordan 1s looks like a no. Therapy Bill, a yes. Gold, mid. Sounds like mid. It sounds like a no, leaning towards no. Brazilian butt lift, hard no.
Hard no.
7 tequila shots.
We'll say yes.
We're gonna say yes.
Yes.
Okay. I can get behind this kind of financial advice.
I agree.
This is amazing. I want to thank you again for coming on to the show, Vivian. And it sounds like you're really busy, but I'm sure you have all sorts of fun stuff coming out. Where can our fans find you and your work?
You can find me as Your Rich BFF across social media. I am very literally on every single platform, single tier. And you can also check out my podcast, Net Worth and Chill, wherever you get your podcasts.
That's amazing. You can always find our podcast on Instagram at Asian Not Asian Pod, and you can find me on there at Nice Pants Bro.
And I'm at Jenny Arimoto.
Come please check out our stand-up show, Hack City. It's the second Friday of every month, and then we have, of course, our live show on June 1st. And you find tickets for that in the episode description. And you know what? If you have a question about sketchy surgeries that if you want to invest in, you know what? Send me an email and maybe I can ask the BFF and she can get back to you about that. So until then, take care of yourselves. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.